So let's get started with the Ornamental Garden Square. So to start this pattern, you either need to do a magic ring or a chain 4 and slip stitch to join. I prefer the magic ring. I will make a note of a link to a video tutorial below for you. And then we're going to chain 3, which counts as a double crochet. And we're going to do 11 double crochets into the center. There's 2, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, and the chain 3 is 12. And then we'll tighten that up if you've done the magic ring, and I will come in closer so you can see what I'm doing now. And then what we need to do is slip stitch to the top of the chain 3 so that we end up with the 12 loops at the top. I like to just count around and make sure that I don't lose anything. And then what we're going to do is chain 1 and then 5 double crochets in the next stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll slip stitch into the next stitch, and we'll do 5 double crochets into the next stitch. And then slip stitch into the next stitch, and you can see that's kind of making the petals. So we'll do that all the way around, so you should end up with 6 petals. And then my last slip stitch, and then I'll fasten off this colour because I'm going to be using multiples. I think it'll be easier for you to see what I'm doing that way. And pull it through. So there is the first part of our flower. Okay, so now we're going to start and put the leaves around the flower. You can see in this one here. So we'll start and work the leaves. So I've grabbed my green. What we need to do when I get the end is we'll be working at the back of the flower for this one. So we'll need to find any petal and find that third stitch of the petal flower. Now you can back post, so you can attach your green yarn using a back post stitch, but what I did just to hide the stitch a little bit more was I went down and used the stitch from round 1. So I've gone between either go between 2 and 3 or 3 and 4 and just hook your hook underneath and attach your yarn. Oops, we'll do that again. And then we need to chain 3 and we'll do the same thing with this flower. So we'll go between the same stitches that we did before, or you can back post around that third of the 5 double crochets that make the petal. And you just go in, bring up a loop and slip stitch, and then chain 3 and do the same on the next petal. Oops. There we go. And the next one, and we'll do that all the way around. And then when you get to the end, we're just going to slip stitch it to that first chain space. So this is what the back now looks like, and you can see you've got your 6 chain 3 spaces on the back of each flower, and this is where we're going to anchor the leaves. So the start of round 4, we need to slip stitch into the next chain 3 space, and we need to do a single crochet, half double crochet, and a double crochet, and then we're going to do a picot. So to do that, we're going to chain 3 and then we're going to slip stitch into the top of that first chain. So the third chain from the hook, we're just going to do a little slip stitch, and then we'll do a double crochet, a half double crochet, and a single crochet. Shall I come out a little bit for you? And a single crochet. And you can see how that's kind of creating a leaf-like shape for us. Now we need to do that all the way around and create 6 leaves. So we'll single crochet into the next chain 3 space, half double crochet, and then double crochet, and then we will chain 3 to make our picot and slip stitch into that third chain from the hook, and then we'll work our, in the same chain 3 space, our double crochet, half double crochet, and single crochet. And you can see how those leaves are starting to come together, and then we'll do that in each chain 3 space around. So once more, we'll single crochet into the next chain 3 space, then we will half double crochet and double crochet, and then we will chain 3 and we will slip stitch into that third chain from hook, and then we will double crochet, half double crochet and single crochet. So we'll do that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end of this row. Okay, and then we're going to slip stitch to the top of that first single crochet. And you can see that those leaves just start popping out. They will stretch and look better as we continue with the square. So for round 5, again we're working on the back of the work, just to create something to anchor the rest of the square to. So what we need to do, basically, we're going to slip stitch to this base on round 3 between the double crochet, picot, double crochet that we've just made for the tip of each leaf. So this one can be quite loose because it's the first one, so we're literally just going to slip stitch to the base, so to round 3, straight underneath that picot. Now you can see that the picots do create little gaps between the stitches, which make it easier to find them. So we've done our first slip stitch, and then we'll chain 4, and then we'll slip stitch on the next leaf between the double crochet, picot, double crochet. So we're going into that round 3 between the double crochet, picot, double crochet, and then we'll chain 4. Now it is a bit more awkward this round, but then it'll get much easier, and we'll do the same all the way around so that we end up with 6 chain 4 spaces. And then when we get back to the beginning, we're just going to slip stitch to that first slip stitch. So this is what the back of your flower looks like, because we've got these 6 chain 4 spaces. Then we're going to fasten off the green. So if you want to, you can fasten in the ends. So in the ends at this point, which I will do just so you can see easier for the next round. I'll catch you in a minute. Okay, so there is our flower with the leaves, and you can see we've got these 6 chain 4 spaces. Now we're going to start with some of the background colour, which is the colour you'll use the most of. I'm just going to use cream from my stash. Get rid of the green. And you need to slip stitch to any of the chain 4s that you've just created, just to join the yarn. And then we need to chain 3, which counts There we go. Counts as a double crochet. So we've chained 3, and then we'll put 5 double crochets into this chain 4 space. And then in each chain 4 space around, we're going to put 6 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we'll do that all the way around, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so we've got 36 double crochets, and you can see we're starting to take shape, and we're just going to slip stitch to the top of that chain 3. So for round 7 we need to chain 1, which doesn't count as a stitch, and then single crochet in this first stitch, and then we need to single crochet in the top of the picot from the next leaf. So where we have that chain 3, there will be a little space in the center that you can get your hook through. Now this is going to anchor the leaf to your square, so you don't need to worry about it. So then we'll single crochet in each of the next 6 stitches, including the one behind the leaf. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we'll single crochet into the top of the picot of the next leaf. And we'll single crochet into the next 6 stitches. And then we'll single crochet into the top of the picot. Can be a little bit tricky. There we go. And then single crochet in the next 6 stitches, and we'll do that all the way around, and you can see how that is actually anchoring the leaves and pulling them to shape for you. And then we get to the last section, and because we started with 1 single crochet, we'll single crochet in the last 5 stitches after you've anchored that last leaf. 2, and then we'll slip stitch to join. So you can see that the nice thing about this is you're not going to have to block these particular leaves. So there we have 42 single crochets going around the outside there. Okay, so for round 8, this one's pretty straightforward. We've slip stitched chain 1. We're going to single crochet in the first 3 stitches. Remember, the chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch. 3, and then we're going to do 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then we're going to single crochet in the next 6 stitches. 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and then single crochet in the next 6 stitches, and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and single crochet in the next 6 stitches, and then 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and single crochet in the next 6 stitches. And then 2 single crochets in the next stitch, single crochet in the next 6 stitches. And then 2 single crochets in the next stitch, and then we're left with 3 stitches, so we're going to single crochet in those last 3 stitches, and then we will slip stitch to join. So in the next round, round 9, we're actually going to be making the corners. Much easier than you think it would be. So we'll chain 1, doesn't count as a stitch, and we're going to single crochet in the first 2 stitches, and then we'll half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then we'll work a double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then to create the corner, in the next stitch we're going to work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, all in that same stitch. So there's my 2 double crochets, chain 2, and in that same stitch 2 more double crochets, and then we'll work a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, a half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And then we'll half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and we'll double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then we'll work our corner in the next stitch. So we'll work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, all in that same stitch. And then we'll do 2 double crochet, or a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, I should say. And then a half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. And we'll single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And then we'll half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and we'll double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then we'll create our third corner. So we'll work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, all in that same stitch. And then we will double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and we will half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then we will single crochet over the next 3 stitches. And then we'll do a half double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then we'll create our final corner. So in the next stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, all in that same stitch. And then we'll double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and we will half double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and then because we started the row with 2 single crochets, we will finish with 1 single crochet, and we will slip stitch to join. And you can see, just a second, that has created some lovely corners. So round 10 we'll chain 1 and we'll double crochet in the first 8 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that then takes us to our chain 2 corner space. And in that space we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, all in that same space. And then we're going to double crochet across the next 15 stitches, which will take us up to the next chain 2 space. Now if you count across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, you'll notice that the 15th stitch is a hidden one just there. If you pull your corner across, you can miss it, so be careful to make sure that you get that one. So over the next 15, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and then we'll do our corner. So we'll do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and we'll repeat that all the way around. So remember to make sure you get that hidden stitch in that corner. And then when you get that last corner worked, you will have 7 stitches left. So we'll double crochet in each of the last 7 stitches. And then we'll slip stitch to the top of that first double crochet, and we will fasten off. And you can sew in your ends if you would like to. I'll sew in my ends and I'll come back. So for round 11 we are going to create the stalks for the tulips or the roses that go around each side. So I've got my green, I'm just looking for the end of it. There we go. And we're going to join our green to any corner chain 2 space. And then we'll chain 1 and we'll do 2 double crochets in that same chain 1 space. And then we're going to double crochet in the next 2 stitches, remembering that that first one might be hidden. And then we'll skip 1 stitch and we'll work a V stitch in the next stitch. So we're going to double crochet, chain 1 and double crochet, all in that same stitch, so it creates a V. And then we'll skip the next 2 stitches and we'll do our double crochet, chain 1, double crochet in the next stitch, and we'll skip the next 2 stitches, and we repeat that until we've got 5 V's. So there I have 3. So I'll skip 2 and work my next V, and then I'll skip another 2 and work my next V. And then we'll skip 1 and we will double crochet in those last 2 stitches, and then we've reached another corner. So in there we're going to work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, all in that same corner space. And then we'll repeat what we've done on the previous side. So we'll work 2 double crochets in the next 2 spaces, remembering that this one counts. 2, and then we'll skip 1 and we'll work a V stitch into the next stitch. So we'll double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then we'll skip the next 2 stitches and we'll do a double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, all in that next stitch, and we'll follow that until we have 5 V stitches. So I'll skip 2 and work my V stitch for 3, skip 2, work my V stitch for 4, and then skip 2, work my V stitch. So you should be left with 3 stitches before the corner. So we're going to skip the next stitch and we'll work a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches. And then we'll work our corner. So we'll work 2 double crochets, chain 2 and 2 double crochets, and then we'll double crochet in the next 2 stitches. We'll skip 1 stitch and we'll work our first V, and then we'll skip 2 stitches and work our next V, and then we'll skip 2 stitches and work the next V, and then we'll skip 2, work the next V, and that's 4, and then we'll skip 2, work the next V, and then we'll skip 1 stitch and work a double crochet in each of the last 2. And then we'll work our corner. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then we'll work a double crochet in each of the next 2 stitches, and then we'll skip 1 and work our first V stitch, then we'll skip 2 and work the next V stitch, and then we'll skip 2 and work a V stitch into the next stitch, and then we'll skip 2, and then we'll skip 2, and then we'll skip 1 and we'll work a double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and we'll finish off our corner. So we'll work 2 double crochets into that final corner space, and we will chain 2 and then we will slip stitch to the top, and that is what round 11 looks like. So for starting round 12, this is where we're putting the buds on top of our stems. So we will only be working these one side at a time, just so you're aware. So just keep with the vintagey colours. I'm going for a rusty colour. Find my hook, and you would attach your yarn to any chain 1 space on the first V stitch of a row. And I've chained 1 there just to anchor it, and then we will do a popcorn stitch in this V stitch. So to work a popcorn stitch, if I come in a bit closer for you, we need to work 5 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we'll pull a long loop, remove the hook, insert the hook from the front to the back of the first double crochet. Sorry, can you see that? So from the front to the back of the first double crochet, attach the loop that you've just made, and then we're going to slip stitch and chain 1 just to finish it off. So you can see that kind of looks like a little bud. So then we're going to chain 2, and we're going to work another popcorn in the next V-stitch. So that's 5 double crochets, 3, 4, 5, long loop, then we'll remove our hook and insert our hook into that first double crochet, add the loop that we've just taken off and pull it through, and then we'll chain 1 just to finish it off, and then we'll chain 2 and we'll work another popcorn in the next V, and we do that for each V along this side. So that is the last popcorn worked, and I've chained 1 just to fasten it off. So then what we're going to do is fasten off our yarn and pull it through, and we're going to repeat this on each side. Okay, so at the end of round 12, not that it was particularly rounds because we were just working each side individually, your square should look something like this. I have sewn in my ends. See, the back is nice and neat and tidy, which is great for a blanket. So then for round 13, you need to grab your background colour and attach it to any chain 2 space in any corner. And then what we need to do is work 2 double crochets in this corner space and double crochet in the next 4 stitches, remembering that that first stitch might be hidden underneath. I'll come in. That first stitch might be hidden underneath your 2 double crochets. So double crochet in 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we need to single crochet in the top of the first popcorn stitch. So single crochet, and then 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space, and then single crochet in the top of the next popcorn. I find it easiest to kind of go through the center where you've pulled them together and out the back that way. And then 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space, single crochets in the chain 2 space, and then single crochet in the top of your next flower, 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space, single crochet in the top of the next flower, 2 single crochets in the next chain 2 space, and single crochet in the top of that last flower, and then double crochet in the last 4 stitches. Remember, we're not working this leaf one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we'll work our corner, which is 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then we follow the same process all the way around. So if I just sort out my ball, we need to double crochet in the next 4 stitches, making sure to work this one, and then we're going to single crochet in the top of that first popcorn stitch, and we'll do 2 single crochets in that chain 2 space. Then we'll single crochet in the top of the next popcorn stitch, and single crochet in the next, 2 single crochets in the next chain 2 space, single crochet in the top of the next popcorn, you can see, and 2 single crochets in the next chain 2 space, single crochet in the top of the popcorn stitch, and 2 single crochets in the next chain 2 space, and single crochet in the top of that last popcorn, and then we will double crochet in the last 4 stitches before the corner space, making sure we're not working that leaf. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then in the corner space we're going to work our 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. And then we'll work our 4 double crochets up to the first bud, and then we'll single crochet in the top of that first popcorn stitch, and 2 single crochets in that chain 2 space, and then single crochet in the top of the next popcorn stitch, and 2 single crochets in the chain space, all the way along to the end of the flowers, and we'll end with a single crochet on top of that last flower. There we go. See, it's looking quite pretty. And then we'll double crochet in the last 4 stitches before the corner, and then we'll work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets in that corner space. And for the final side we'll do the same, so double crochet in that first 4 stitches, and then we'll single crochet in the top of the popcorn, and 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space, all the way along. And then to finish off the row, we will double crochet in the last 4 stitches, and in that corner space we started with, we're going to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then slip stitch together. Slip stitch to join. So if I come out, you can see this is what we have now, and it's really starting to take shape and look like what it's supposed to. So for round 14, I need to chain 1, we're still using the cream, and in the chain 2 space we need to work 2 double crochets. So that's the start of our corner stitch. And then we need to double crochet on top of these double crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll double crochet in the first 6 stitches. And then in each of these single crochet stitches across the top of the flowers, we're going to half double crochet. So we'll half double crochet across the singles, 2, so that was 13 half double crochets, and then we'll double crochet in the last 6 stitches. And then we've reached our corner space, and we're going to work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then we will double crochet in the next 6 stitches. And then we will half double crochet in the next 13 stitches, which are all of the single crochets from the previous row. And then we'll double crochet in the last 6. And then we'll work our corner space, so we'll do 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, all in that same space. And we will double crochet in the next 6 stitches. And then we will half double crochet across the next 13 stitches, sorry. And we will double crochet in the last 6 stitches of that side. And then in the corner space we're going to double crochet 2, chain 2, double crochet 2. And then we will double crochet in the next 6 stitches. And then half double crochet across the next 13 stitches. And then we will double crochet across the last 6 stitches, and then we will finish off that corner stitch. So in the corner we need to do 2 double crochets, chain 2, and then slip stitch to that very first double crochet that we made in the round. And that is what we have so far. So we can snip off that background colour and weave in the ends. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Now we're effectively going to repeat from the green one more time to make our square 10 inches. So I'm going to join my green yarn on any chain 2 corner space, and then we're going to work 2 double crochets in that corner. and then we will double crochet in the next 4 stitches, remembering that that first one is hidden. And then we'll skip the first stitch and we'll work a V-stitch in the next stitch, which is a double crochet, chain 1 and a double crochet in that same stitch. And then we'll skip 2 and we'll work a V-stitch, double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then we'll skip 2 and work the V-stitch, skip 2, work a V-stitch, skip 2, work the V-stitch, skip 2, work the V-stitch, skip 2, work the V-stitch, and then we'll skip 1 and double crochet in the last 4 stitches. So there we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 V-stitches. So we'll have 7 buds on the next round. So in the corner we need to double crochet 2, chain 2, double crochet 2, all in that same corner space. And then we need to double crochet in the next 4 stitches, remembering about that first one. And then we'll skip the first stitch and we'll work a V into the next stitch. And then we'll skip the next 2 stitches and we'll work a V. And we'll skip the next 2 and work a V. And we'll continue that way along until we have 7 V's. There we go. And we'll skip the next stitch and we'll work a double crochet in each of the next 4. Okay, come in a little bit there. You can see the V stitches and the 4 double crochets, and then we're up to the corner and we'll work our 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, all in that corner space. And then we'll do a double crochet in the next 4 stitches. And then we'll skip 1 and we'll V-stitch in the next, which is our double crochet, chain 1, double crochet. Then we'll skip 2, V-stitch in the next, and we will continue to skip 2 and V-stitch in the next stitch until we have 7 V-stitches. And then we'll skip one and we will double crochet in each of the last 4 stitches on this side. And then we'll work our last sides. So then we'll do our corner, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and my yarn really wants to mess with me today. And then we'll double crochet in the next 4 stitches, making sure that we get this one. And then we'll skip 1 stitch and we'll do our V in the next stitch. So that's double crochet, chain 1, double crochet, and then we'll skip 2 stitches and V-stitch. And skip 2 and V-stitch all the way along until we have 7 V-stitches. And then we'll skip 1 and we will double crochet in the last 4 stitches. And then just to finish off this last corner, we'll do 2 double crochets, chain 2 and slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. And then we can fasten off that yarn. And you can weave in your ends if you want to. And then we'll get our colour for our flowers. So you can change your colour here if you want to. And we're going to work this round exactly the same way we did the first one, except this time we'll have 7 popcorns and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chain 2 spaces. So we'll attach it to the middle of that first V in the row. If I come in. So we're going to attach our yarn to the middle of that first V. And then we'll work 5 double crochets all in that same space. And then we'll create a longer loop. We'll take our hook out and we'll insert it in the top of that first double crochet. Attach the loop that we've just removed and pull it through and chain 1 just to finish off that stitch, and then chain 2, and then we'll do 5 double crochets in the next chain 1 space of the next V stitch. Create a big loop, remove our hook and insert it in the top of the first double crochet of the set of 5. Insert your loop back onto your hook, pull it through, chain 1 and then chain 2, and we'll do that in each of the 7 V stitches. And then this is the last popcorn, so I'm going to just close that up, chain one, cut my yarn and fasten it off. Whoops, there we go. So you can see there I've got my 7 popcorns that sit on top of the 5 popcorns from the previous rounds, and we're going to do that in each side. So if you guys do that, and I'll come back once I've done all 4 sides and sewn in my ends. Okay, so now we're on the last 2 rounds of this square, so we're going to get our background colour, and oh, I'll find the right end, and we're going to join it to any chain 2 corner space. And we'll work 2 double crochets, and then we'll work a double crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. So remember to get that one that looks like it might be hidden. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then remember we don't work the first leaf, we do a single crochet into the top of that first popcorn stitch, and then 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space. I'll come a bit closer for you. 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space, and then we'll single crochet in the top of the next flower and 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space, and we'll do that all the way along the flowers. So 1 single crochet in the top of each flower and 2 in each chain 2 space. And then we'll do a single crochet in the top of that last flower, and then we will double crochet in the next 6 stitches. And then that's our first row done. Whoops. Our first side done. So then we're at the corner space. We'll work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then we'll do a double crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. And then we'll skip that first leaf and we'll work a single crochet in the top of that bud, and then 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space. Single crochet in the top of the bud and 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space all the way along the row, or the side, sorry. And then single crochet in the top of that last bud and double crochet in the last 6 stitches before you hit the corner space. This one doesn't look very good because it's where I sewed in my ends. And then we'll work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, in that chain 2 space. And then 6 double crochet, a double crochet in each of the next 6 stitches. And then we'll skip that one and we'll put a single crochet in the top of the bud. And again, that's where I've tied in the ends. And then 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space. And single crochet in the top of the next bud. 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space. All the way along to the last bud. Then you'll put a double crochet in each of the last 6 stitches, work your corner and do the last side. So I'll meet you once you get to the end of this round. And then we'll just finish off that first corner that we started in with 2 double crochets, chain 2 and slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet. And then we are on to the final round. So just keep going. We need to chain 1, work 2 double crochets in the chain 2 space. Oops. And if I chain 2, it'll give me a little bit more space, won't it? And then we're going to double crochet into the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 stitches. And then we'll get to the single crochets from the previous row, so we'll half double crochet into the next 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 19 stitches. And then we'll double crochet in the next 8 stitches, which should take us up to the corner. And then we're at the corner, so we'll work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. And then we will double crochet in the next 8 stitches. and then we'll half double crochet in the next 19. So these are the single crochets from the previous round. And then we'll double crochet in the next 8. And then we'll work our corner. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then double crochet in the next 8 stitches. And then we'll half double crochet in the next 19. And then we'll double crochet in the last 8 of this side. And then we're at the corner again, so we'll work 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, all in that same chain 2 space. And the final side we'll work 8 double crochets across the next 8 stitches. And then we'll work half double crochet across the next 19 stitches. And then double crochet across the next 8. And then we'll just finish off that first corner we started by double crochet 2, chain 2 and slip stitch to the first double crochet. And then we can fasten off. And there we go. That is our ornamental garden square finished. I will pop the link to how to block your squares if you're unfamiliar with that in the description box, along with the links to the free pattern for this on the blog, and also the KAL that this is part of, the Bouquet Flowers Afghan. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial today. If you have, please feel free to subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell icon to be notified of any updates and new videos, etc. Have a fabulous day, people. Bye.